Yo, 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 welcome back to the Out the Box Show. I'm John Wallace alongside my co-host James Luffy. And James, this is
A
the
champion,
greatest week of the year.
a championship edition.
Do you know why? I wasn't even talking about that. Do you know why it is the greatest week of the year?
Masters,
Nope.
Easter,
The Easter Bunny is
the
coming.
Easter Bunny.
The Easter
And
Bunny
you love
is
chocolate.
coming. Love chocolate. I love Peeps. You know those little marshmallow sugar candy Peep deals? They look like Teletubbies.
Yes.
I
The
actually,
Peeps.
I actually don't like those at all. I haven't met one person that I know that actually like enjoys to eat those.
I walked in Walgreens the other day and I saw the
Just
Peeps.
lining the shelves.
And this was actually like a couple months ago, so it wasn't that close. But I was like, man, why do they keep so many Peeps in the store? And then right after that, I saw a lady come in, grab them, and check out.
They're probably like from last year. They probably just put the same Peeps out there. They have them in the back at Walgreens.
They don't ever expire.
they're just they're I guess they're tradition. I guess some things, even though tradition has kind of died, it just kind of lives on. You know, like it's died as far as like people enjoying them, but people are like, oh, we got to keep this around because it was a good thing. But there's also some reasons why this is the greatest week of the year. LSU women's basketball is the national champions. Wowzers.
What a game.
Did you think that you honestly, did you think you would ever see this, right? I mean, not knowing that Kim Mulkey was going to end up being the coach, not knowing that the transfer portal was going to become a thing, but like, I don't know. I just remember back and obviously like it was a different time in our lives when LSU women's and LSU men's both made the Final Four. Whenever we were like what 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like it was just such a tall task. Like winning a tournament out of 64 teams, like LSU was not the best team all year. But it's kind of like baseball, wherever you hit your stride. Obviously, they won the majority of their games.
Yeah, they only lost 2 games all year.
That's what I'm saying. But like hitting your stride in the tournament, the shots start falling. They kind of had a rough go of it throughout the tournament. But championship game, it was raining buckets.
Yeah, I mean, 102 points, most ever in a championship game. We just couldn't miss. And we did talk about this, John, because I said that if we were going to beat Miami on here, and if we got hot and did not have to play South Carolina because our matchup versus Iowa was going to be better, if we shot it well, we could win, and we did. We came out, we were lights out. Team effort, everybody contributed really. Alexis Morris closing it out. Jazz hitting the 5-4 threes in a row in the first half.
21 points.
Of course, Angel Reese, Bayou Barbie dominating the game down low, even though she was in foul trouble early. Kind of held Caitlin Clark down, which she still had 30-something points, but her in foul trouble was big for us. And the whole team. Poe came in, played well, played good defense, but it was incredible. I mean, you could see the shock on Kim Mulkey's face at the end of the game. Like, she didn't even ever, I don't think, she kept trying to temper the expectations going into the tournament, saying our goal is to make it to the Sweet 16, almost like we're going to take that next step each year. And we seem to be maybe struggling a little bit at the end of the year, but ever since that Sweet 16 game, they turned it on and they defended their way into the Final Four, and they got hot shooting the ball and the Natty and won. It was a crazy game, and what a season.
We were a 3 seed, correct?
Yeah, which was a slight to the SEC, even though there's 2 SEC teams in the Final Four. But yeah, a 3 seed after only losing 2 games all year is kind of, it didn't make sense. I think they were that also may have helped motivate them a little bit. So
sure, and that's what I'm saying. You're in a pool of 64 other, at the very least decent teams, and that's kind of what I was getting at is like LSU started as a 3rd seed. Like if you'd have said at the beginning of the tournament, which by the way I did fill out a women's bracket, I'll tweet it. I have the date on it. I did pick LSU to win it all. Obviously, that was a homer deal on my part. But what I'm saying is, like, as a number 3 seed to go in, win the tournament, South Carolina in the middle of the season, it was like Kim Mulkey even said it. She was like, it's South Carolina and then everybody else.
Yeah.
And then, that's why they play the games. That's why they play the tournament. That's why it's called March Madness. South Carolina goes down, and all the credit to Iowa. Fantastic effort by them, but it was raining buckets. Like, and I think a lot of people kind of have the same sentiment towards the first half, but is that not one of, if not the greatest halves of basketball you've ever seen, despite the refs?
Yeah, I mean, I really think both halves were pretty incredible. We shot it so well in the fourth quarter, and it's just such a complete team effort that I mean, it was probably our best game of the year. I don't know if Kim Mulkey said that, but it was probably our best game of the year. Our team played so hard defensively all year, which really led them to that championship game. And she's a hell of a coach. I mean, you have a special group of characters. It was one of those teams that may not have been the most talented. South Carolina was probably the most talented, or Iowa, but this team was by far like the best group. They were a true like team, and what Kim Mulkey does is make you believe that you can do it. And she comes up with great game plans and coaches to the very last second with intensity and.
Well, the very last minute, and then she breaks
then
down
she breaks
and starts
down.
crying.
Well, did you see the video? She was breaking down, and then one of the assistants like came up to her, and she like turned around and chewed them out, and there was like 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
So
and you could talk about the refs. I do want to just briefly address that. I don't think there's any argument that the refs were not good in this game, but I think they were equally as bad on each side of the ball. I don't think that really had anything to do with it. I mean, I know it's a rule, and if you throw a basketball like Caitlin Clark did, that's supposed to be a technical foul. And they called it according to the letter of the law. Am I a fan that they did that to I think today she won the Naismith Player of the Year or the Wooden Award. She won the Wooden Award today for being the best player in college basketball. And you're going to do that in the national championship. I don't know. There were a couple calls like that, but I feel like it was distributed evenly. They were that bad as a reffing crew that they were able to do it to both teams, get both teams in foul trouble. In the national championship, you don't want to see your major stars. Like, that is horrible for TV ratings. Like, say the game were to become lopsided and Iowa didn't have Caitlin Clark who can score 10 points in what it seems like, you go get some more popcorn and all of a sudden they're down 8 or whatever. Yeah. But I think you're right. I think, it was an incredible game. A guy at work actually said that he said, yeah, Alexis Parker is awesome. And I'm like, what? And I said, it's Alexis Morris. He goes, no, that like she was just like Tony Parker. Like she's got that little 15-foot jumper.
She does. And the way she'll fake it and kind of elevate and pass the ball is awesome. She's really a hooper. And Flaugier also was awesome. She defends her ass off. And then on the other end of the floor, her layup package is really, really good. She can go to either side. She can finger roll. She can lay it off the glass, go up under the goal and reverse lay it in. She's really got a lot of skill for a freshman.
Yes. So I think a lot of what we're saying is stuff that LSU fans are feeling, but just the fact to put a banner up in the PMAC that says we're here to be a contender is incredible. And the best part about it is that this is just the beginning.
Yep.
Like that is why Kim Mulkey came here. Do you want to do a 20-second comment on the whole controversy at the end of the game?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, there you have it. LSU and Iowa are headed to the White House to celebrate the accomplishments of both teams. I'm trying to get you going.
No, I mean, I don't. I think it's all kind of stupid, but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna ride with Angel and the Tigers all day.
Yeah, I'm about. I mean, dude, we're already 2 days out from that. It's kind of like everything's kind of subsided, and now we can actually focus on that.
Everyone's heard enough about that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll clean that up though, John, with Workbox. Wow. One of our great sponsors, Workbox LLC. If you need a portable potty, portable office, portable restroom rental, roll-off dumpster. Call Martina Workbox. It's 225-343-4886. If you need a storage container, a portable office, restroom rentals. They have the nice luxury restroom rentals. If you need porta potties, cleanest in the business, or a roll-off dumpster, call Martina Workbox. It's 225-343-4886.
Also, I want to give a huge shout out to the Boot Crew Media Network. We normally do it at the beginning of the episode, but we had to get straight to Easter, the Easter Bunny, and we had to get to LSU winning the national championship. Shout out to the Boot Crew Media Network. They have posted so many clips of like Kim Mulkey playing point guard at La Tech. They've posted Flage in the locker room. They posted in the locker room dancing to the Lil Boosie song. They posted Lil Boosie cutting down the nets. Like, it's just a constant stream of content coming from the Boot Crew Media Network. And Chris Calderera, 2 for this week. He's got an article breaking down the LSU women's national championship run, as well as what we're about to talk about, LSU's series win over Tony Vitello and the Tennessee Volunteers. Make sure to follow them, bootcrewmedia.com, and on social media at Boot Crew Media. All right. Well, if this was just another normal week and LSU would have won and say I don't know, are you thankful? And I kind of had a little bit of FOMO today or yesterday. You know how you were trying to get me to go to the
Friday night
to the game, the women's basketball game.
Oh, the Sweet 16 game? Yes, I'm very glad that I went. It was fun, dude. I think I talked about it on here, but I had a blast at the game. The energy in that building, which I'm sure it'll be the same next year, if not even more, was high throughout the game. And like the crowd plays like the team plays, like from the start, they were into it. And it was really fun. I'm glad I got to go see them play that last game in the PMAC for the year before they went and won a national championship. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to live with that for the rest of my life, that I didn't get to watch this championship team at some point.
And another cool moment was going to the game on Friday night, being in the box when the team won the semifinal game, the Final Four game. And the box, like, they came over the intercom and announced it, and the box went crazy. I'm sure everyone's seen the videos, but that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, you're in front of a record crowd. I think when we were there on Thursday night, and I guess we'll go ahead and get into that game, but Thursday night, I believe the attendance record was 13,068 at the box, the most anticipated game in Alex Box Stadium history. I think it kind of lived up to the hype. You had Skeens versus Dolander. It was kind of a pitcher's duel heading into the 6th, 7th inning. I think Skeens had 12 strikeouts. He did his typical Skeens Friday night. It was Thursday, but he did his typical Friday night thing.
Yeah, Skeens was awesome. He was better than Dolander. I think we chased Dolander in the 4th inning, and they put in their best reliever, which we knew at the time that was a probability, and that they were kind of going all out to win that game 1, because in the SEC, you got to go get that game 1, because you don't know what will happen in that game 3 with the pitching in college. It's just that game to me is up for grabs a lot of time, and I think that's why you saw Vitello try to go for the win in that game 1.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like whenever you come to the hostile environment, a record crowd of the box, we were sitting in front, behind a Tennessee fan whose son was on the team, and he said they sell out every game. And we're like, well, how many seats do you have? And he said 4,000.
Yeah.
So it's like coming into a hostile environment, you got to do. You do. Well, I mean, you were right there, so hopefully you just have ears.
Oh, no, I didn't listen to him the whole time. I was dialed into the game.
Well, we were talking to him to gain a new perspective on.
Well, I was kind of further away from him. You were down there on the other side with McCain.
Yeah. So, I think you had to give your best foot forward, and they did. I mean, LSU goes down 2-1. I think that was when Ackenhausen came in. Milazzo was the catcher.
1-0.
1-0.
Yep.
Yes. So Milazzo comes in later in the game to be a defensive presence. Ackenhausen comes in and struggles a little bit, throws a couple wild pitches. Then all of a sudden we're down. What was it?
3-2.
No. It was 2-1, right? It was 2-1, and then we scored. Dugas hit the home run, and then it was 2-2, and then that's whenever in the 8th inning, bases got juiced, and Jordan Clutch Thompson, your boy, comes up and hits a bases clearing double, and we went up 5-2. So all that to say, it's like it was such a pitcher's duel, and I want to go back to the Dugas home run.
That thing was launched. I know on the
we
monitor,
were right there.
Yeah, it was still going up whenever it reached us, and we were on that left field side, and that ball was still rising. It was obliterated, really. And he's just a guy that when you need him, he's gonna come up big in a clutch spot, and you can't say much more about him. He always delivers in the big spots and big games, and that's really what you need in a team that is trying to win a championship.
He's my favorite player on this team. I said it on Thursday night. I actually called his home run. I'm not kidding. You can ask McCain.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at him and I said, Dugas going to put one out. And the guy in front of me looked over, turned his head, and shook his head. I'm like, he's going to do it.
No, I was right. We were down 1-0, and Dugas hit that 2-run home run.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had that backwards.
Yes.
Dugas hits the home run. We're up 2-1.
Yes.
Then that's whenever we had the wild pitches. Ackenhausen gives up the run,
mm-hmm.
and Jay Johnson decides to make a move, put Garrett Edwards in, and Edwards comes in and takes care of business.
Yeah, does a good job.
He is our for the time being until things, a few more things become more clear to Jay Johnson. Garrett Edwards is our most reliable guy coming out of the bullpen and in late game situations.
And hopefully Ackenhausen, he was like limping, has like a hamstring, they said.
Yes.
Hopefully he's able to get healthy because we do need him. And yeah, Jordan Thompson has just been clutch throughout his LSU career at the plate.
2 doubles in the same night.
He is another guy who really thrives off the big moment, I think.
Crowd, atmosphere,
runners
big
on base,
game, Tennessee.
Yeah. I think that really is a good spot for him to be in. I think it just focuses him even more, really.
Yes.
But yeah, good for him. He took a lot of shit last year, so good for him to get that big hit.
Yeah. And you need a guy that is your 7th or 8th hole hitter on a night-to-night basis. He's your shortstop, but he's your late. He's at the bottom of your batting lineup.
Yeah.
And he's doing things like that. Absolutely incredible. Like I said, Milazzo came in, and that a couple wild pitches kind of put the game in jeopardy, but doesn't matter anymore because of Jordan Thompson. But I do want to say that I was not a fan at all of the trash being thrown on the field after Jordan Thompson hit the home run. I know it was the student section. I know they were getting hyped up, but I just want to say this. I don't want to become Tennessee. I don't want to become.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big trash on the.
I don't want to become the villains. I don't want to become the for lack of a better word, the assholes. I don't want to become the assholes that Tennessee knows that they are, and Tennessee just embraces that, right? Another thing is that this stops the momentum, right? So just say, for example, whoever was up after Thompson comes up to the plate. Oh wait, we got to send 5 people out there to go pick up the trash.
Yeah.
Anyway. Not that big of a deal, but I just don't want to creep into a-hole territory like Tennessee is. All right. You went to the game Friday night as well.
Yeah.
Did you go to every game this weekend?
No, I didn't go Saturday. I had to work Saturday.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. Wow. I wish you wouldn't have even said that.
I wanted to go, but I couldn't.
Okay. So did the box have the same energy on Friday night? Yeah, we got
it did. It was a little slower filling up like the beginning of the game, but it was full. Like it started off to where there wasn't really people standing up around the sides and standing room only. And then like by the end of the first inning, which took pretty long, but that got everybody in there because it was a 6:00 start. Everyone knows Friday afternoon traffic in Baton Rouge, not the best. But it was just as full. I'm very glad. Me and my little sister went with me, and it was their first game. And what I told her is it was a good first game because of the nonstop action that was going on early on. I mean, they hit a bomb on the first inning, and then After that, Cade Beloso comes through and gives us a 2-1 lead on a double right at us. So
Where'd y'all sit?
We sat right next to the student section in the outfield on the first row. So I was like telling my little sister too, like, we got to pay attention because we hit a lot of balls this way, and a couple did come our way. But, I'll talk about Ty Floyd first. He gives up a couple runs, but he continues to battle and he eats up innings, and solo home runs don't kill you. They had 3 solo home runs off of him. So, if he can keep getting a little bit better and a little bit more comfortable, he's definitely right now, there's not another guy that's going to be your Saturday starter. So,
Right.
and he's doing a solid job. Like, we should be able to score, 4 or 5, 5 to 10 runs at least on a Saturday with this lineup, just being how deep it is. Dugas hit another bomb. Brady Neal hit a bomb that started right at us, but the wind blew it a little to our right. So again, it was a lot of action through the first, I guess, 5 innings, and then it slowed down a little bit. And Chase Shores came in, did a really, really nice job after Ty Floyd. And then, it was just a complete team effort and a battle again in this game to win it on Saturday. Griffin Herring came in to close the game out and looked really good. I think you're going to see that be a guy that they're going to rely on, the lefty. So he's a freshman as well, I believe. So he's a guy that they're going to rely on. What were your Saturday thoughts, John? Friday.
It's so weird.
Yeah,
that is so unbelievable.
We're gonna have to start being like game 2, even though we're still used to being Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right. I just like, I don't know. We've been saying it all year, but I'm a fan of the experiments he's using. Beloso getting his playing time. Beloso showing that he can be a contributor on this team on tough weekend series, like having guys that you can trust. I am a little concerned about Shores, given the rumblings that have been talked about the last few days. I know this isn't saying much, but tonight during the midweek game, compression sleeve.
Yeah,
major news right there.
Look, I wear a compression sleeve to work out. My elbow doesn't need Tommy John's.
Sure. But if you have to have Tommy John, I don't know how much compression sleeve is going to really help you.
Yeah,
right.
So that maybe is a good sign. Anyway, we won't speculate. We're definitely not speculating.
I like speculating, but I just don't know. But like you said, I mean, the young guys, Brady Neal, and this kind of goes back to Thursday night. That's why I kind of mentioned Milazzo coming in. I think Neal, I don't know if switching over. I know Milazzo is great behind the plate, but bringing in a guy that's cold in the 8th inning, I just don't know if that's the best move, considering that Brady Neal has been lights out. For the most part behind the plate, and he hits very well.
And Brady Neal's a special player. He's going to be drafted highly in his 3rd year at LSU. When he puts on some more muscle and gets some more power at bats and just gets more at bats in the SEC, the dude's really a special player. And he's been. I don't know if we've given him enough credit. This team's lost 4 games this year, and he's been a big part of that I don't know if we talked about enough. Jared Jones had another good weekend, the freshman. So
Trey Morgan is kind of going unsung right now.
Yeah,
like
he had some hits.
Yeah, no, right. And I'm looking, and that's what got me thinking about it. He has 3 hits in game 2, but what I'm saying is he's doing it very quietly.
Mm-hmm.
He's batting a very quiet 300. He's taking care of business. I don't know if it's just the fact that Cruz is batting 540 right now that we're like, wow, we don't even notice a guy. I mean, last year.
So you like Trey in left field?
I do.
Now that we're on him?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
He's gotten better in left field. He made a nice play on Thursday night. Correct? Yeah, that was a Thursday night game because we couldn't really see it because it was right down our line. But so I mean, if you like that, do you like DH Beloso or DH Jared Jones?
Well, I think Jared Jones and Beloso. Beloso played first base his freshman year. He's very familiar with it. I think they're kind of interchangeable at first base. And my thought process is that the lineup that they played on Thursday night, Beloso at DH, Jones at first, Morgan in left, and I believe it was Pearson in right. I think that's our best starting 9 going forward. Obviously, the talent is interchangeable on this team. You can plug and play in many positions, but I think our best chance to win is Trey Morgan in left field. You cannot take his bat out of the lineup. You're obviously not going to DH him. I think I'd probably lean, maybe Jones just to get a little more reach at first base, and then at Beloso a DH or whoever's hot. I mean, you still got guys like Joe Bear that you can just plug in a DH. I mean, Joe Bear and Jones and Beloso, whoever's hot, you got to ride that. I think Jones has pretty much earned a spot.
Yeah, and I think they're going to try to work Kling back into the lineup again some more. I don't think that he's permanently out of the lineup. I think he started tonight. So I just think that he's somebody with too much talent. And again, we talked about this. There's this thing. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's new. The transfer portal.
Wow. Don't want him to leave.
You don't want him to leave, or you don't want him to feel like he's not getting enough at bats. Like that's just, he's going to be a starter next year, right?
Oh, right.
Like he's a starter next year for sure. Especially, we're losing Cruz and a couple other guys. And so you want to get him in bats. You want to keep letting him play and keep him interested because, who knows?
There's a little perspective there because we are the number 1 team in the country. So
no, I mean, there is.
Right,
I mean,
right.
that makes sense. But like these guys are all competitors. They're probably all working hard at practice. And I think you're going to continue to see them. And I think you're going to continue to see Milazzo too come in at catcher.
But do you get what I'm saying with that, Lou? I just don't know if Milazzo coming in cold in the 7th, 8th,
No,
9th
I get
inning.
that. I think that's also a weird thing. I'm sure that he is warming up some, but it is a big atmosphere to come into after not being in there.
Well, that and I mean that's 2 or 3 hours where you're just sitting in the dugout.
Well,
I mean,
I'm sure he's in the bullpen.
I understand that. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I don't think Milazzo's strength behind the plate is worth taking Brady Neal's bat out of the lineup, even in a late game situation. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah.
So speaking of which,
and I think Joe Bear will continue to get at bats too. Just to to talk about a couple other guys that we hadn't really mentioned, but I think that it's going to be a matchup thing and what Jay sees. I'm sure they have all kind of statistics and stuff up on the wall, so that's what you have to balance, that statistics and then the mindset.
I just see Jay Johnson has one of those yarn boards in like The Wire or like the FBI uses to like calculate who would be the best in certain situation and where he's going to find his guy. And he's like mapping out, and he probably does that with the transfer portal too. He probably has like little airplanes that he like tacks up on the board to say where he's going to recruit. And I just imagine him as like an FBI agent. I don't know.
Yeah, nothing. I see that. No, I see that because he does have a recruiting room in his house. Is that where you're getting that from?
I just see him like he just goes home, and something my dad used to say. He said Nick Saban sits there like in his basement, like crunching numbers with the little like lever thing, and he's got the little green hat to like crunch the numbers. You know what I'm talking about? The little green visor.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. But I get that because he does. I read that article. I think it was a Leah Van article. Your girl, shout out Leah.
Well, Chris Reed told us that.
That he has a little recruiting room in his house?
He said he wanted a 3-bedroom house, and he's like, no, I need a 4-bedroom.
Yeah, got to have the recruiting room. So, anyway, game 4. 3. Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday game.
Unfortunate. I think
the Saturday game.
The main thing that we need to come out of this is that, one, we won the series. That's what you set out to do every single weekend. You beat Tennessee, you beat the A-holes, you beat Tony Vitello, and you got the job done there. Saturday.
It was Vitello's first win in the box, which that was the only – that made me more upset than actually losing the game, that we let him get a win in the box.
He was 0-4 before that. It does. A sweep is fantastic, but it's a long ride back to Tennessee. I'm actually going to Tennessee this weekend, but it's a long ride back to Tennessee.
You going to the Vols game?
I'm not.
Oh, come on now.
I'm not. They sell out. They're sold out already. So because they only have 4,000 tickets. But no, you got the job done. The main storyline coming out of Saturday is going to be Thatcher Hurd. I think it's kind of starting to become a
trend.
A trend that he's just not locating. I think everybody, when they talk about Thatcher Hurd, talks about how much talent he has and how much potential he has, and that this team cannot be successful without Thatcher Hurd pitching on his game. But the problem is, I was actually texting Chris Carrera today, and this is kind of a good question. Matt Dupre was texting us as well. And Chris actually mentioned this in his article. What do you do with Thatcher Hurd in this situation?
Yeah.
Do you
shout out Matt too?
Do you relegate him to the midweek game? And does that mess with his confidence? Or and also, I mean, you're in the heart of your SEC schedule. Do you really want to start throwing random guys out there on game 3? I mean, it's kind of a mystery what Jay Johnson's going to do here.
So, I mean, I think you kind of have two. I give you two options, which is a midweek game where you let him start and just simulate a start if you want him to continue to be that starter on Sunday and get his confidence back. I think that if you go out and pitch well, it doesn't really matter who you're throwing against with your low. I mean, he pitched well in the Texas game. So it's not, and that was a big game. That's a big atmosphere. So it's not, it's just like whether he's feeling good, locating it. I think that will translate to a bigger atmosphere the next week if he can get some confidence back that way. Or I think you put him in a tough spot in a weekend game. I think you force him out there in a tough spot
as in not be the starter.
I like
that.
And we're up 5-4 and they got 2 runners on and there's 1 out, and you need somebody to come in and get you out of the inning and let him go out there. And maybe that throws him to like an ultra focus mode from the start, whether it's like intensity and focus from that first pitch. And maybe that helps with location. I think that's the 2 things that you can do with him. I don't like, cause they need him. So I don't think that he will like take him out of things. I think they might give him a little rest. Like, I don't know if he'll throw tonight while we're recording this. Some people were saying start him. I didn't really agree with that because he just pitched the other day. Give him a little rest. Yeah. Let him, throw a bullpen and then get back into full swing either probably this weekend. But yeah.
Yeah, I am a believer in the confidence thing. Like if you just pull him out and say, all right, you're in the midweek game until you prove yourself. It's a mental thing. Like that's what pitching is, right?
Yeah, and I don't think being up like 8-0 on a Sunday game or a game 3 against an SEC team and throwing them out there is a good spot either.
I agree.
So yeah, LSU got crushed. I think we were down 10-0 at
one point. Riley Cooper did come in and do a pretty nice job. He did a good job eating up innings, pitching to contact, and that's kind of what he does when he's able to get those easy outs and those quick outs. That's when he can really work through some innings. He deserves some credit because he hadn't, pitched that well up until this point, but he had a good outing, and I think that he's going with Hurd struggling to be more important as we move into the middle of our SEC schedule, even though it's been a tough start with some good opponents.
Yes. Yeah.
Did we answer all of Matt's question? Make sure you get it all.
No. Well, I had a little plan, but basically his question was, how do you solve the Sunday starter hole? Who's that person until Hurd figures it out? So that is part of the question. Okay. Who is it? I mean, with the uncertainty with Shores, that's kind of a big question mark right now. We'll know this weekend if Shores gets in and plays. Obviously, he's not having Tommy John surgery. But Jay Johnson,
you could see him on a weekend arrest, though. I think when they shut it down, he's going to tell us because what's the point in hiding it?
Yeah. I mean, Riley Cooper was our game 2 starter. I think I don't see much more options. We were texting earlier. You mentioned what is the deal with Javen Coleman? Like, where is he?
Well, yeah,
obviously he's
we've
still
heard
rehabbing.
Different reports. Like Hunt Palmer says, like, don't count on it.
Obviously, he's not going to come back this weekend and be the Sunday starter or whatever, or Saturday starter. But I'm just trying to brainstorm here. I mean, do you try? You need Edwards for those crucial game 1 and 2 situations.
It seems like they really were starting to like Edwards and Shores out of the pen because Shores came in and did a really nice job. And I think that.
Do you just whole staff it?
I think that
Riley
you
Cooper,
could
go to Ackenhausen, maybe.
I feel like they might start someone else and then go to Cooper still, because I feel like he almost thrives on coming in with guys.
Yeah,
Bryce, like when he's like has to dial in right away.
Yeah, I mean, Jay Johnson mentioned that he loves Bryce Collins' his game. I could easily see Bryce Collins coming in and starting just for a couple innings, not letting him go too long, maybe 2-3 innings, and then kind of, like I said, whole staffing it. I mean, it all depends on how the Friday and Saturday games go. If they're blowouts, and I think you can pretty much, the things that are constant, that have been constant in life, are death taxes and Skeens throwing 6 innings on a Friday night, 100 pitches. So.
Yeah, and then are they going to use Griffin Herring as the closer? Are they going to, what are they going to do with some of the guys that they are not fully trusting or haven't given that big opportunity to yet? I don't know. Like we'll see. I mean,
my answer would be it's a whole staff until further notice. I don't think and look, Jay Johnson might be like, forget it. We're gonna pain through this thing until we figure it out.
And I mean, what do you think about Christian Little?
I think
he started the midweek game tonight. I don't know how many innings. It was just one or
he threw like 1 or 2. He threw 31 pitches.
Okay, so they're saving him for the weekend.
Yeah, so I mean, I could see that. I like Christian Little coming out of the bullpen.
If he threw 31 pitches, then I could see him going Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it's going to be kind of what the approach for tonight's game was. Get your guys some work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said,
Gavin Guidry's been throwing a lot on the weekends. I don't know if we're going to see him during the weekend, but the weekdays he's been throwing a lot. So I don't know if they're working him towards that because they don't see him playing in the field this year, and next year they might be like, oh nope, you're back all to the field. Yeah. And his breaking ball is not bad. Bear Jones just hit another home run, of course. But
what's new?
And then let's see who's in now. So they got Collins in now. So they're getting Collins some work, and so I don't know. It'll be whole staff.
Said it last at TJ Ribbs, and maybe we just need to go to TJ Ribbs next week and ask him.
Look, John, what we say? Game 3, Sunday game, got to score 10 runs. So
well, we scored 7.
That's part of. You got to score 10 runs. I don't even want to the offense needs to score 10 runs on those games if you're going to win those games. That's just how deep hitting is in the SEC. And then you got pitchers get banged up more often. So I think that you have to score 10 runs on Sunday, but the whole staff approach, it's doable. It's doable. It can work.
When you hit like we do, yes, it's doable.
It can work. So if you're doing it right, then I think that can work. And I think there's enough guys that they're just going to find out who's throwing the ball well, really.
Yeah.
And it hurts not to have Grant Taylor now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I had forgotten about him for the moment. Yeah. So whole staff till further notice. All right. Just like this week is the best week of the year. I feel like I've been saying that every week, but it's true. It's really, things are just getting better and better. And, you get better and better till you're the best. And that's what Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty did. Blaine is a personal friend of the show. He has been my realtor. Blaine is the man. He wants to help you out. Summertime, might want to buy you a summer home down in the French Quarter or in Baton Rouge. No, I don't know. I hope nobody's buying summer homes down in Baton Rouge. Maybe you buy your summer home up in Omaha. I'm sure Blaine would love to facilitate that process for you. Blaine is the man. Blaine wants you to hit him up at 504-858-0031 for all your housing needs. Whether you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, rent out your investment property, or find you somewhere to rent, Blaine is the man for you. 504-858-0031 for all your housing needs. All right. Before we move on, I think we got maybe a missed segment here or there, but another question Matt Dupre asked was, would love to hear y'all's thoughts on arguably the single biggest challenge facing the team at basically the halfway point of the season. Well, thank you, Matt, for reminding us that we're halfway through the season. Mm-hmm. That brought me down a notch just now.
But we're not. Think about it as we're not halfway through. Regular season.
You're doing the glass of whiskey half empty, half full.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I think that we're at least making it to a regional at this point. Yeah. Let's see, so we got games left.
I mean, yeah. So
I think we just talked about
I think it is. I think the biggest problem is not being deep enough in the bullpen to whenever that's how baseball works. Your bats go cold. It happens to the best teams ever. You know, on the days that you don't score 10 runs on a Sunday, you got to have lights out pitching, and that's what carries you through Omaha. That's what carries you through the regional, super regional. So yeah.
So Ole Miss, you know, they really struggled at the beginning of their SEC series last year was until they played us here, right? So they got back on track, and that really the last, I guess, 5 SEC weeks of the year, and their best 2 pitchers were out. They both came back, and thinking about maybe the possibility of whether it's Ackenhausen because he's got a little hamstring, or Chase Shores coming back and being awesome, or whoever it might be. Their 2 guys come back and they turn on and win the whole national championship.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of a weird way to phrase it, but we're the number 1 team in the country. There's always going to be something that you can improve in baseball. We're doing everything right. We're doing the best that we can, but there's always stuff you can improve on. And I think finding the solution to your game 3 pitching is the move. I think it was throughout the past couple of weeks, it's been our pitching and kind of a question mark about who we should start in the outfield based on their bat. Yeah. Other than that, I mean, we have the best pitcher in the country, in my opinion, and probably yours. We have the best center fielder in the country, who's projected at minimum top 5 pick this year. We're doing good. And we asked Jacques Doucet before he came on the show, or when he was on the show, he said there's going to be a crisis. And as of right now, we're the ship's steady, I'd say.
Okay.
But that if there was one thing we had to point
out, I would say
the pitching staff.
Injuries too. Injuries to the pitching staff would also be a part of it, because I think if this group stays healthy, and that means Chase Shores, then they can come back to Shores and Ackenhausen, then they can come back and be like, we can find enough pitching on Sunday if those 2 are healthy.
I mean, Ackenhausen's gone. Like, he's pitched 3-4.
Yeah, he's
4 innings. He can. I mean, hell, if you have your Sunday guy go 4 innings, that's
no. I think if those 2 are healthy and you get Coleman back, then there's enough guys in there.
Good,
but it does worry me for sure.
Yes, but like you said, we got a little bit of time to worry on that. Also, shout out, I was looking at the LSU schedule today, and I don't know what your plans are for the month of April, Luffy. We probably should talk about this off air, but I in a Saturday night game at the box tailgate.
Mm-hmm.
So, also congratulations to our very own Chris Calderera for winning the Out of the Box Bracket Challenge. A fight.
Some are saying rigged. Take that up with John. Well, he made the thing.
Didn't Rory win it? Rory won it.
Oh.
Rory actually won it.
So it's double rigged.
So I want to go ahead and get out in front of this. Chris is getting the free hat and the free shirt. He won it fair and square. We stated, we can go back and check the tape, but we said if you, me, or Rory wins, then you're not going to get a shirt. Like, we're not going to get a shirt. The next person would. And it's honestly funny that Rory won. Of course, I was in another bracket thing with Rory. He had like 3 brackets and they were all in the top 5 or whatever. Like, it was kind of ridiculous. But
did he have UConn winning it?
In one of them, no. He had Houston. I don't.
He must have had UConn going like Final Four. How did he get that many points?
I don't know. All he does is sit at home and research college basketball. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, all he does,
the tape.
He sits there and he rocks that. He rocks the cradle. And
John James, Crane, Luke,
Webster, John. Yeah. All right, Luffy.
Yo,
we haven't even gotten to why some people might think it's the best week of the year.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, we're going to put everybody on ice.
Okay.
We're going to let them wonder why it might be the best week of the year while we talk about the House Bar in Tigerland. Shout out Jeff and Casey over at the House Bar in Tigerland, the best bar in Tigerland. It is the best time of the year to go to the House Bar in Tigerland. Crawfish, beer, music, sports, you name it. The inside of the House Bar, like, I don't think people realize how crappy it was when you and I used to go there. Like, it was a dump. That whole place has been revamped.
Looks
They
like the
got-
Ritz Carlton.
It is like it's rags to riches.
Did you
It
see
is-
Casey this weekend?
Did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Good.
But I generally see Casey on the weekend, and he's always wearing his out the box hat.
He
So
better have been.
get on over to the House Bar in Tigerland. Take your parents there for graduation. We got graduation in
Yeah.
a month, Fluffy.
Yeah,
How crazy is that?
that is
Your
crazy.
parents ought to
I'm
be coming
going.
in town for graduation.
They will be coming in
Are
town.
you going to take them to the House
Yeah,
Bar?
we will be going to the house. We're going Friday and Saturday. We got 2 graduations coming up.
Wowzers.
Yeah.
Look at that. House Bar in Tigerland, houseintigerland.com, and on social media, Tigerland House. All right. Did you think about why I said it might be the best week of the year?
Georgia.
We
can't sing it all.
Dude, I had a little bit of vibrato there. I don't even know what that means. I just heard that. I heard
Who?
the band director say that one time.
Who do I think is going to win the Masters?
Okay. We need to write down your picks,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take. I don't know how many you have. I know you've probably been doing a lot of research because this
I have more than one.
This is your Super Bowl thing. I'm gonna take every single one of your picks, so write them down so that way I can get them locked in. Or I can here. I'll type them on my phone.
Okay.
While you say them.
I have them. So, look, interesting Masters. You got the Live guys coming back to play, and you have a lot of good players playing really well. You have Rory, Rahm, and you have Scheffler. So those are kind of the big 3 right now. They've been incredible lately. Scotty defending his title as number 1 in the world. Rahm winning multiple events. Rory trying to get the career Grand Slam, John. Win all 4. Never won at Augusta. And you have, Cam Smith, DJ coming back to see if they can win a major as a live player, which hasn't been done before. So you got a lot of good players playing well. You got Sam Burns, LSU Tiger, up to number 10 in the world. He's 30-1 this week. Some books have him like 35-1. I'd try to find him better than 30-1. You have to take Sam as the homer pick, of course.
Okay. So that number 1?
That's not number 1.
No, like not your best pick, but just like your first one that you're giving out.
Yeah, you got LSU Sam Burns. I think he's 35-1. He had won before that. He was around 40-1, and then he won the other week. And then I think if you want a long shot, John, which I know you do, you got 70-1. You have Minwoo Lee, the Australian who's been playing really good as of lately. 70, 80, 90-1. You can probably find him somewhere in there. That's kind of a long shot for you. Let's see what the odds are now for Morikawa. Colin Morikawa should be around minus 120, minus 110 for top 20. That's a lock if you want to put something.
Minus 110 for top 20.
Or
top 10.
What's for Morikawa?
Yes.
For top 20.
Okay. Minus 110 for top 20.
It should be like minus 120. See what it is.
Okay.
And then for, let's see. Okay. A couple guys. I mean, you also have Koepka winning the last live event. He's down to 35-1. I don't like him at that number. I actually bet him before he won that event last week at 55-1. Like that a little bit better. But I think I'm gonna go with Rory.
To win it all.
Is the pick.
Is that
I would
because of
fade that.
Rory?
I would not take that, but it is because of our very own Rory. But no, I mean, he's been playing great golf. Rahm and Scheffler will be hard to beat. I would not be surprised if Rahm, Scheffler, or Rory win. I mean, they're playing so much better, it seems like, than everywhere else in the world. And we really haven't got to see the live guys. So you don't know Cam Smith's form. You don't know DJ's form. You don't know Brooks. Really, even though he just won, you don't really know what that level of competition is. So I guess I'll go. What do you have Rory at on yours? Because I don't like this number on here.
I mean, do you think it'll be drastically different?
Yeah, could be.
So I'm pulling it up on the DraftKings Sportsbook. This ought to be a good time to talk about the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Use sign-up code BOOT. Bet just $5 on your team and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Shout out DraftKings 21+. Restrictions apply. See show notes for details. I literally have the worst and oldest phone ever.
Okay. All right. Well, that honestly, if he's not a good number, try to get him around 9-1. A lot of those times you can boost it 9-1, 10-1, something like that. If not, take some more middle of the pack, long shots.
Rory is plus 750, so 7.5 to 1.
That's all right. That's not great. But if you want to bet like some other mid-range guys like Cameron Smith, what's he, 22 to 1? Cam Smith, I have
35 to 1.
Cam Smith?
Yes.
Really?
3,500 plus 3,500.
I would take that.
Right now? All right, I'm locking it in.
I would take that. I have 20 to 1 on this book, so you make sure you get the right guy. There should only be one, though.
Cameron Smith, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
Cam Smith. I'm switching off Rory if he's 7 to 1 on there. That's too much good value.
Okay. And then Morikawa.
He loves the place.
Morikawa top 10 is plus 210.
I'm saying top 20, though. I want him top 20.
Wait. Okay. Top 20.
I like him top 10, but I love him top 20.
28 to 1.
What?
Oh, wait. No, I'm clicking the wrong thing. I just scared you. All right. Top 20.
No, I mean,
Morikawa is. I'm so bad at this. Dude, I'm not good. Like, you'd think I would have learned from talking to you and talking golf and hearing you like that. I'd be better at betting golf. I'm not. That's why I'm just solely relying on you to giving you the picks. All right, yeah. Colin Morikawa minus 120, top 20.
Yeah,
minus 120.
That's something if you wanna like put a lockdown, like you're trying to make a big bet, because a lot of these other ones are huge odds, 70 to 1. You might only be putting $20-$30 down, but if you want to bet for John, a unit for you, which is a couple thousand, but
right, yeah, a couple thousand, not even pennies. Like, you know how like the gas pump goes below like a cent.
Yeah,
like it goes to like 0.9 of a cent. That's what I'm betting.
So yeah,
so that's
two units at least on the Morikawa top 20.
So that's 5 locks from you. That's what
do we
heard.
have?
Burns 35 to 1.
He should be more than that now. Check your thing on that. It could be like you'll probably get like 40 to 1.
I'm gonna check it in a second. Lee 70, 80, 90 to 1.
Yeah.
Just wherever you can get that. Morikawa minus 120, top 20 finish. Rory to
who?
win it. Morikawa.
Yeah.
Morikawa. Yeah. Rory to win it is, after Rory Luke. That's 7.5 to 1. You said you weren't a huge fan of that, but then whenever we talked about Cam Smith, 35 to 1, you kind
that number's too good to pass up. Yeah.
Yes. So, this is an opportunity to place a lot of.
Rory is just my pick to win. He's not a bet, not an official bet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because you got to put too many.
I'll scratch that from the record. And
scratch it from the record,
and then I think that's it.
You're probably gonna win now.
You got 4. Yeah, right. I could have put my mortgage to my.
Yeah, now you need to
get put a mortgage. Then you'd have to get Blaine Loop to get you another house if you lose your first house betting. All right. So it's gonna be a great Masters week. Would more like I know football's the best time of year. Like we love LSU football, and that's I'd venture to say, and I think your favorite LSU sport in general is LSU football, right?
Yes, favorite sport, yeah.
Yes. And right now it's like we're not even really thinking about it. Like, it just seems like every other year we did, we'd have a segment each week like, all right, what's going down in the off season? What's going on in the transfer portal? But are they going to play the spring game?
They are going to play it, but it's not going to be like a game type format.
It's not going to be on like.
I mean, there might be like some. I don't think it's going to be like. It's going to be a practice basically, like it kind of was last year. So
Breaking news:
or it'll be a little different, but
LSU just beat Nichols. Final score 12-2. Midweek game. My prediction still stands. We're not going to lose a midweek game this year. Still standing, Luffy. Do you think it's going to carry on to the end of the season?
I think we're going to lose.
Jesus.
Nah, I don't know. I don't actually. I don't think we're going to lose one. I was going to say we'd lose one.
I mean, honestly, today we went down 1-2-0 in the first couple of innings, and it was just like, all right, whatever. So all right, well, I think that was a great show. What a great time of year! You got the Masters, the Women's Natty, LSU baseball's rocking and rolling. The gymnastics team's headed to Fort Worth. It's a great time of year.
Yeah,
and
won the
this is
regional. Shout out,
I mean,
Jim.
It's crazy to think that we're on the verge of being in the golden era of college or LSU sports, like as a whole. Like it's so much better. I love that LSU is not just like Duke. Like I mean, Duke, has had a few other sports teams here and there, make runs or whatever, but we're not just a football school. We're not just a basketball school. It's fun having everybody succeed. And that just makes it such a more attractive place to come play in your respective sport, Like I don't know, I just get excited thinking about the potential in the NIL money. Like I know LSU isn't like, deep pockets like some of these other schools, but that all might change over the next few years. Championships and winning changes everything. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. We cannot thank y'all enough. We're approaching episode 150, Luffy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or not, but that we're excited for that. Hopefully that'll be right around the time where we can do a tailgate and kind of celebrate that. But we could not do it without you guys. We have so much fun doing this week in and week out, and it's a lot more fun. We've been podcasting when there was no sports on at a time, and when LSU's winning championships. So
that's right.
I could definitely say it's a lot better now than it was back then.
No doubt.
But we're having a great time of year. Make sure to get on over to the House Bar in Tigerland, to call Martine at Workbox, call Blaine Loop with Keller Williams Realty. You also want you to know that Keller Williams is an equal opportunity housing partner. Each office is independently owned and operated. Enter code BOOT. Bet just $5 and get $200 if your team wins. And read Chris Calderera's articles on bootcrewmedia.com. How about that? I just summed up every ad read in about 20 seconds.
I like it.
I kind of botched a little bit of it, but who's counting?
It was fine. It was perfect.